And we're live. Good evening, everybody, from the Cordillera Administrative Region of the Philippines and from an undisclosed location in the Midwest. This is Baguio Life, and tonight we are going to talk about a modern take on veterans issues, which, from one understanding, after talking with Johnny Warrior, he's in a town that I kind of have some history with. Lawton, Oklahoma. I took basic training in AIT there in 1986. I returned again for training with my unit in 2000. And according to him, things have changed a lot. And so we're going to kind of talk about it tonight. I'm going to do, Johnny, I'm going to drop Dave a link.
Okay.
That way we can get some, insightful, another take on it, or another region of the United States.
Oh, he's in Mindanao right now.
Well, we're talking about
current issues, the current status. Okay. Well,
yeah,
maybe.
Hold on. Can you talk? I'm trying to multitask and I'm getting confused.
No, what we're going to talk about is we're going to feed into kind of the current environment related to, what veterans are facing. And it's also more or less kind of a litmus or a portrayal of a small slice of the social dynamics of what's going on, not just in the U.S., but, what goes on here in the United States bleeds over into the perceptions and the interactions over there in the Philippines or abroad in general, because those same lack of respect or lack of whatever has a tendency to move over. Now, of course, here on YouTube are compounds. This is not using YouTube, or the environment in YouTube is not a good standard in which to judge society, because you kind of have the norm, right? And then outside of the norm, you end up coming in with these small little pockets of a whole different environment, a whole different community that has a tendency to be a little sour or more aggressive, or, they just want to pick somebody apart until they see somebody fail. So you can't use YouTube as a litmus, but I can tell you some of the things that are going on relative to the experiences that's even happening in a military town.
That's what shocked me, bro. That's what really, because when I was there both times, it was red, white, and blue. The flag flying in the front yard. Every other household was either military or retired artillery or.
Yeah, no, you got a demographic here, and
that must have changed since 2000.
Well, dude, it's 2018. It's almost 20 years later. Yeah, of course it's going to change, but you got a undertone of things that are. And I wish we could sit here and say that the environment is purely political, but honestly, I think a lot of it has to do with there's a part of the younger generations that have no direction, and they can't find anything with substance to back. So what they do is they go by popular opinion. We have a portion of the American culture that are completely followers and don't lead. Here we're trying to be leaders in our community, right? You and I try to lead our leaders in our community, and that's because of habits that are developed through our adult interactions and what our occupation was. Now you've got a whole entire 2, maybe even stretching into 3 generations of people who don't have the direction, have the tool sets, or have really even a desire to lead. They just want to follow because it's the easy thing to do. It's a path of least resistance. It's like they're lazy generate. It's a whole section of couple generations that are literally lazy and don't have the capacity to think critically, think freely, have an opinion contrary to what the mainstream is, or even do the research and make sure what their opinion is based on fact rather than just what is socially acceptable. This is what's developing this environment. So when we start comparing, right? What? What? Did you just call me a bitch, man?
No, that's the Sergeant Major talking.
Okay. So, before we get too deep into it, let me. Why don't you give a direct, visualization of what it was like here when you were here, so I can tell you what it is now.
Okay, when I was there, this is before the ADA school. Last time I was there, the ADA school and TRADOC, which is the Air Defense School, they were in the process of moving and starting basic. They were starting to move their people in 2000. But 86, it was red, white, and blue. Every other house was either somebody that lived or stationed or married to somebody that worked on Fort Sill. And Fort Sill Boulevard, once you got past the gate, past the airfield, was nothing but strip joints and pawn shops.
Okay. There's a lot of...
Now, 2000, I don't know if a Fort Sill commander somehow pissed off the demographic, because we went back in 2000, which one of the landmarks, you might want to say, the Golden Dragon. Ring a bell with you?
No.
Oh, well, it was a landmark on Fort Sill Boulevard. It was the first CD joint right outside the gate. Okay. They actually got pushed like 10 miles out of town. So, and it was still a military, red, white, and blue, patriotic. I'm talking flags flying in the back of the pickup truck with the gun racks, with the rifle and the shotgun hanging on it.
Yeah.
So,
well, the demographic that you have now is, you still have a section of the community that is military, but you have a lot of this ancillary support that's in here. Raytheon, Grumman. There's 3 major production plants here. Reynolds. There's a plastic injection company. Goodyear tires are made here now. So there's a lot of manufacturing that's around here. So you've got, more dynamic growth in the economy growing here in Lawton. So what you're getting is a lot of the military has decided to move outside of Lawton, and you're left with a lot of inner city style. I mean, it's pretty dilapidated in downtown Lawton.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Has Lawton Fort Sill community went the way where all the Koreans unasked and the Filipinos moved in and picked up the slack? It's still Korean?
No, they're not. There's a Filipino-Korean presence, right? But I don't even think that they live in Lawton. They own their companies here.
So what are you saying? Fort Sill kind of picked up and moved toward Cache?
Yeah, towards Cache and going towards the other direction, Davis or whatever it is. Yes. In fact, that's where I'm staying, is on the other side of the interstate going towards Davis. Right. So I'm out of the town. Now, when you go in there, and this is what kind of struck me this time, as from even just a few years ago, is that here in Lawton, we're not talking Oklahoma City, we're not talking about Kansas City or LA or Frisco or New York or anything like that. You have a huge, very visible, very verbal anti-Trump movement, as well as, the subsection of the Antifa thought process, right? Ooh. I'm not going to call them complete anarchists, but they're very, very radical with the LBGT, and I'm going to tell you that the military itself had bred the dynamic here for that by them allowing or them opening the gates for LBGTs to serve openly, same-sex marriage to be used in the observed in the military, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They kind of asked for what this dynamic is coming in. All right. Trey Gowdy had made a comment about how the military has never been an equal opportunity employer. It never has been, because the minute that you go in, you're selected and based on criteria. Okay. Your disabilities will disqualify you. Even religious philosophy will disqualify you, because if you're if you are and you come in a pacifist, they won't accept you. You also, you can't be a conscientious observer but coming in through MEPS.
I enlisted during the Cold War, and one of the questions was if I was a member of the Communist Party or not.
Exactly. It still is. So there's a lot of things that can keep you from, criminal, drugs, all this stuff can keep you from serving in the military. So the military is not an equal employer, equal opportunity employer. It's not. All right. Now, as much as society wants it to be, it can't be, because the standard has to be higher, because of what the government, what our nation is asking these men and women to do, require the highest level of ethics and the highest level of values. There are certain things that whittle that away, that they know over time. They have learned, people of this caliber that are influenced by this, right, are more, they know, man. Mm-hmm. All right.
And you also have to. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, go ahead.
I wanted to say you also have to take a written exam and score a minimum score.
Yes. Yeah. Your IQ is a factor. Your aptitude is a factor. But what I'm saying is, here now, with what the few things that have changed and they're trying to push this equality, you have a segment of the population that is pushing back extremely hard. And they're doing so aggressively. They're doing so very vocally and borderline violently, as it is. Yes, the ASVAB. And there's standards in the ASVAB. For instance, you might be able to come in at a certain level, although it's raised for infantry. The ASVAB requirement for even infantry has raised. You have to have a minimum of a 110 combination in order to even qualify for OCS. So the section, you're selected based on criteria is the point. It is not equal opportunity. So here in Lawton, that dynamic is becoming extremely vocal. Now, that is also becoming extremely anti-veteran. And there is a undertone across this nation that, at one point in time, it was extremely non-PC to be anti-military, anti-veteran. Everybody would make the statement, I support our troops, right? But then they would say something along the lines, but, it was a corporate war on for oil. Stuff like that, they would do it. Now it's a little different. Now they're kind of outright saying, now they're making these statements and these actions that are extremely anti-military, anti-veteran, and it's very, very obvious of what's going on. On top of and that's the difference between Vietnam era and the current era. Look, don't think for a minute that the objective is not the same. It is. It's an identical progressive objective in order to diminish, right, what the representation of a veteran or a military man is to the country. The minute that you can knock down the perception of your military might within your population, and there's no respect, there's no reverence, and there's no honor given to the military, the quicker you're going to be able to encroach on a progressive and force feed a progressive agenda. I mean, that's fundamentally what's going on. So through this continuum bombardment on social media and the continual skewing in the media of, notice anytime that there's as tragic as they are, if a veteran is involved in a shooting, right? All veterans that have PTSD need to be subjected to more in-depth background research. Screw the fact that, that's only a small portion of the psychos out there doing this crap. Why aren't they on the video games, or why aren't they spotlighting, the broken homes and the divorce rates and the ethical issues that are going on in our schools, or the ethical issues that these kids that are growing up and being influenced by everything from politicians to NFL players to everything else, and these influences and role models that are damn crooks themselves. Why aren't they concentrating on that? No, they do it on the backs of veterans. They do it on the backs of our military, period.
Well, the high school I went to, I found out they had banned, Carroll County, Maryland School Board has banned recruiters now from coming to the high schools.
Well, they did that, I think, in the second year of the war, when there was a little bit of a backlash and protest against the war. GWOT, they started and it's not just Maryland. I think pretty much all schools now don't allow recruiters.
I don't think Texas did it. Texas left it open. And there was a time when if you badmouth the military in Lawton, they take you outside and beat the shit out of you, being honest.
Here you'll see 15-year-old kids walking around, 15-year-old kid.
Dave's right. Texas didn't do it.
Okay. But there'll be 15-year-old kids here walking around with, ACU shirts with freaking Purple Hearts and Bronze Stars pinned on it, just to incite some kind of reaction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a quagmire of what the political agenda's influence is on the youth today and what's going on in this progressive movement. It's not just Seattle, guys. It's not. Lawton, Oklahoma is generally in the core of the heart of what conservatism is. You're seeing this emerge. It's not any different in Oklahoma City. It's not any different in Tulsa. Those same movements. It's bizarre that in a military town that you would get this.
A town that actually paid for Lawton, a post that paid for Lawton, that supported that town. That town Fort Sill was Lawton's bread and butter.
Yeah, Crazy Kano has a point here. Doing away with the draft reduced the percentage of citizens who have served in their families and friends who understand what it is like to serve. And that statement, as true as it is, also doing away with the draft has increased the quality of an all-volunteer force. We don't have the disciplinary issues that a lot of commanders and a lot of units had during the Vietnam War. There's a more inline, and I think it says something for the population in general when you don't have to have a mandatory service requirement or a mandatory draft, right? That everybody is a volunteer coming into the service, and you can still field an effective fighting force that can hand it to the asses of anybody who decides that they want to confront the military might of the United States, period. And that includes China. All right. I am telling you, as our force factors stand, because a lot of our fight, right, has to do with Project 100,000 again. Look.
Well, you know what? Honestly, can I chime in on that one? I got that in a question. Honest to God, I got to praise the commander in chief we have now because the guy for the person he made SecDef for one.
Oh yeah, that is, come on.
Yes. Okay. But I got a question, and this is what I think is happening. I think, is it part of the reason why there's such a big pushback is because we have a president now that was so vocal that he supported our veteran community and our military?
No, yeah,
he openly said it from day one when he wasn't even president, when he was running.
But then let me ask you a question then. See, you're actually 2 presidential cycles behind in that statement.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that the commander-in-chief should not be openly supportive of our veterans and our military, bro? I mean, it's bizarre that you're even making a statement that there's been a shift in our leadership, because you've had a president that served 2 terms that was not supportive of our military and our veterans. That's why.
Yeah.
So the problem stems partially from that. You know, it should not be strange, or should not be odd, or it shouldn't be weird, or shouldn't be a factor or an influencer when our commander-in-chief supports his military service. You know, that shouldn't be an odd thing. It's fucking odd when you got somebody who's not. That's the problem. You know, look. Yeah. You've got a military force that has you've got the foundation of a military force. When you start adding small bits of technology or even small bits of process control, right?
Oh, wait a minute. You had to disagree. I agree. He agrees with me. Thank you, Patrick.
Well, there's nothing to agree or disagree. The timeline's wrong. You know, how is it that the president all through history has always, no matter if he was Democrat or Republican, up until the last administration, it is not strange that the president does not, the president has always supported the military, always openly supported the military. Obama was the first one that didn't. So what is there to agree or disagree?
The POTUS.
Exactly. You just made the statement. So it was Obama that was the oddity, not Trump. Trump is not doing anything that's any different than any other president other than Obama had done. What you're seeing is a adjustment back to what exactly. I'm not disagreeing with you, Patrick Glenn. Obama didn't, and that was my statement. Obama was the source of the issue, and Trump is realigning it. So that when you make a statement that, you know, it's all because of Trump's how is FDR not supporting the military when he sent
FDR was
droves of people? I know, but that doesn't. I mean, he didn't have a choice. It was World War II.
Yeah.
He sent droves of people overseas. I mean, it was wow. Okay, I'm not going to get into this. I think I'm being baited down a rabbit hole because that makes no sense. Neither one of those statements make any sense. I think Dave is being a antagonist there. Warmonger.
Yeah. He said he's burnt out. So he needed the invite.
He probably needs to go sleep. So I'm totally in agreement. Obama was where the problem was. And these people are trying to take it out. So you guys are kind of feeding into what the progressives are using in order to do the anti-Trump poll. All right. So Obama was where there was this deviation. The deviation came from his administration. So the correction is coming to Trump to bring the standard back in line to where it is. So they're using that movement back to the standard as he's some crazed whatever and doing the anti-Trump thing, when all he's doing is what every patriotic president would do: honor the troops.
Well, and he also saw a problem, I guess, from him on the outside looking in, before that there was a problem with the Veterans Administration.
Well, what, Trump fixing the Veterans Administration?
I mean, yeah, about him trying.
It's not fixed yet, but he's working on it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a work in progress. I mean, he's made good steps in the right direction. Okay. He's made good steps with pay raises. I mean, what was it? 1.7 for how many years?
Well, God honest truth, dude, until he does a all-out washout of the VA, it's going to be very, very difficult to correct the VA, because you have a lot of these. He was
the guy that said that system is fucked up and we need to fix it and take care of the people.
And I'm not a huge Bush supporter or whatever, but you know, Bush tried to do it all the way back. Reagan was trying to do it. Yes, Trump is at least putting the focus on there and at least trying to get the right people in there to get it fixed.
That's what I'm asking. My point is that part of the thing that's driving this sentiment now more and more?
No, man. Because look, I don't think the people who are actively engaged in this movement get into the weeds to the point that they really even know what the VA does, let alone, you know, what the culture in the VA is. You know, there's a lot of correction that needs to be done that, you know, until Trump appoints a permanent head of the veteran, you know, a secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs, until that individual changes the environment and doesn't, you know, just do the mouth service and then let it go, right? Because there has to be a washout. You've got a lot of senior doctors and a lot of senior administrators in the VA that feel so comfortable in where they're at, they just do the norm. And, you know, instead of the VA being something that supports the administration aspects of it, their first line of defense is to make sure you don't get your benefits. You know, they're doing everything not to get you in the system. And then once you're in the system, you start to get the support.
Okay, see what I'm saying? Here's another thing, too. And another thing is, and it was brought out, and probably part of this whole Antifa, anti-veteran sentiment is that a lot of people have said that they would rather house and give benefits to illegals without getting into the immigration thing, instead of having our guys that served homeless on the streets. They would rather see those guys homeless on the streets and give that to it. So as great of a political, you know, a political motivator as that is, right? The reality is that I guarantee you a large portion of those that are supporting the housing and immigration and everything else are not associating the issues of immigration in conjunction with the issues of veterans. You know, I bet you if you were to do a poll of those that are down there protesting for open borders and everything, and I'm in no way, shape, or form in defense of these people, but moving your political agenda aside, right? It is legal to use the National Guard, Patrick. Yeah,
it
but
is
not
legal
federally.
to use the National Guard.
Not federally.
No, but the states can activate it.
We're
Stop.
not going into that.
Stop. Breathe. Go eat some kibble. So, no, you can do it. You can use the National Guard, Patrick Lynn. Honestly, no. Honestly, he can federally because they're not using them against U.S. citizens. You can't use federalized military against U.S. citizens, but you can use the federal military in order to protect your borders. But you would actually, Congress would actually have to define it as a threat, which means that that would be classified as an enemy threat, etc. And that would be political suicide for whoever did that, you know. So the states, the governors, utilizing their National Guard resources is the most, you know, politically correct or the politically soft way of doing that. But when you talk about illegals and veterans, if you were to poll that population, I highly doubt that the people who are you know, are getting not getting the association of, well, if we spend money for these illegals, we're not taking care of our own. They're blinded by the passion that they have. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Well, Patrick, in Arizona, down by Yuma, south of Yuma, 2/3 of the border is a bombing range.
It is.
You know, so
plus white sands.
Yeah. So a lot of them a lot of states have a lot of maneuvering, you know, if they would use it more actively, I'm sure it would deter a lot of people using that, but you know, but you know, I think this is all small slivers of influences in the overall anti-military, anti-veteran atmosphere that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know how bad it was. Maybe I've been gone for too long and didn't see it when I come home. Because like I said, when we came home, I didn't come home with the unit, but the atmosphere in the county in my first unit I ever worked in was red till they redrew the congressional districts. So, I mean, the Walmart even put up all the local vets pictures in the Walmart, guys that served in the front of the Walmart. And I think they took it down because somebody complained.
Well, I mean, this is the era of political correctness and how it has come to the point of, you know, the divide. Look, the military, you know, Crazy Kano is making a point here with a good read. It's a book called The End of Equality, and again, a perspective on the benefits of the draft. And, you know, I think in today's day and age, the draft would be it would not be a benefit. I think it would be something, because, you know, when they start drafting, they start to compromise the standard. And if they compromise the standard, the battle that the military is facing right now, the battle that military is internally having, maintaining discipline, and just as it is, I mean, you can, you know, I served 26 years and I've seen it dissolve.
Well, now they're bringing it back. They're bringing it back, bro.
Okay. They over 26 years, they've done that 3 or 4 times in a cycle. The political environment and the perceived majority influence on that environment is what dictates what happens in the military. All right. And let me get my point across, Eric. All right. Yeah. By introducing a draft, you reduce the standard. You reduce the standard, you have more stressors on that disciplinary action. So whatever they're trying to bring back right now, the point is, if you bring a draft in, right, you're going to reduce that standard, and then you're going to magnify the issue of what's going in. Now, without a doubt, everybody knows in the 70s, you know, the Army and the Navy were a complete mess, right?
Till Reagan.
Yeah, Reagan's the one. That's where it started to turn. But then there was a big investment in the military. The military needs to feel value. If you don't feel value, its leadership doesn't feel value and doesn't put forth the effort in order for training, effective discipline, guidance, mission objective, focus. All those things go to the wayside. It's just, okay, we're here. Let's go out to the field and whatever. I mean, there was times in the 70s where there wasn't money for cycle training. They didn't have the ammo to go out there. And to tell you the truth, there was times in the late 80s, right after Desert Storm, that they had to cancel FTXs because they didn't have the money, at least on the Marine Corps side. They didn't have the money to go out to the range and train. Or they would use up all their ammo, and they would have to cut an FTX short. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead and talk for a minute. I'm dropping somebody an email.
Okay. So, you start introducing the draft, and you start dissolving those standards. You start to bring that political correctness, you start to bring that socially influenced opinion base into the military, and then you're going to have, where is your discipline when your leadership cannot get if a platoon leader, right, and an infantry unit can't get his platoon to engage effectively and become mission objective focused, and they're more influenced by, well, you disrespected me, or, I didn't, I identify myself as female. Why am I not getting tampons or whatever? You're going to have these issues. I mean, it just becomes this complex pool of crap, and it's going to break down military bearing, break down discipline, and you're just going to have more and more. This whole concept that the military is a microcosm of the social experiment is ridiculous. That's one of the most moronic statements I have ever heard in my life, because it is a select demographic. That demographic has been selected at every MOS, at every unit, for every mission. They have been selected and designed for a particular purpose. So sit there and say that, okay, if you want to see, what a microcosm of today's social demographic is, to use the military as a tool, that is the most retarded fucking concept I've ever heard in my life.
Okay, I mean, I can tell you, set some examples. You're talking about demographics in units.
Yeah.
And problems and issues. And I can tell you from the part-time side, up until, I would say, after Desert Storm, one individual commander who I've told you about him. He's nominated for his 3rd star right now. Joined our unit, became a battery commander. He went all the way on to brigade. Now he's going to get his 3rd star. He kind of threw that out of the way and said, this is how we're going to handle things. We're going to do business this way. No more coming in this one weekend a month, not meeting the standard, not calling a sergeant, first sergeant. The first names went right away, all away. And it took that one individual, and he actually turned our whole battalion around. By the time he became battalion commander, the whole battalion was shifted around. And our only downfall was recruiting. That was our only downfall, was our strength reports.
Well,
which he didn't care.
What you're doing is you're highlighting a point that I said earlier relative to the VA. Until you start to change the climate and your leadership, you're still stuck with the problem. And which is, is a solid point. I hate to even do this, but Will Wonks is actually right. All right. The veterans are a throwaway of the industrial military complex. And the concept of the industrial military complex that design of it, that influence with corporate agendas and whatever, you know, that's a personal opinion whether you're going to tie it into national security or a corporate agenda. Because under the vise of what the POTUS is doing objectively, he is stating that it is of national security interest. Irrelevant of what the ties or the effects or the cause is, we have to operate under that pretense. So that's why military men, military leaders, right, have confidence in their leadership and go to war over what could be perceived as corporate warfare, right? Just for the interests of protecting corporate assets or corporate objectives of, you know, when you're talking about large scale money, it is of national security, because if our economy is influenced, right, and there's destabilization in our economy, that's of national security interest. So why the fuck wouldn't we go to war over oil? Or why the fuck wouldn't we go over to war over factors that influence our economy?
Hey,
it's
Johnny,
ridiculous to have that liberal mindset that you wouldn't do that. Yes.
I'd like to welcome Nico the first time on Baguio.
Oh, Nico, my buddy.
How are
Him and
you?
I were
on.
Go ahead, Nico.
No, always a pleasure, guys. Always. And
We're taking.
Hey, Baguio, shut up. Let him talk.
Oh,
I said as long as we get paid and we have less casualties, let's go to war and take the shit. We're a powerful country. We just gotten very weak and very we ended up losing our backbone somewhere down the line. We're losing a lot of good people. We're not replacing it with a lot of people with backbone.
You know, I would say that in the second, in the beginning, well, actually the last to the mid part of the Obama administration, that you are accurate. The leadership that I saw coming in and being appointed were more of a political beast. However, let's remove that upper echelon of the political influence of it. When you're talking about, you know, brigade level down between the NCOs and the officer corps, in a lot of those professional combat arm environments, the leadership that was in there was top notch. All right. The people who were coming in and waging warfare were very capable force multipliers in themselves. So, you know, although I'll agree to a point, I don't think that we're not capable of waging war right now. The perception of the U.S. military being a crippled military at this moment, whatever nation out there wants to go ahead and make that error in judgment is going to be rudely awakened with the fact that they're going to get their asses handed to them on a silver platter and with a smile.
well, can I add on to that? Ever since 9/11, I hate to put it this way, but even our National Guard and Reserve have become battle hardened and better trained.
Well, those are part of the force multipliers. You know,
Yeah, but before 9/11, it wasn't, bro. Trust me.
No,
I heard
you're right, man. That goes without statement. Hey, Will Wonks, I'm going to repeat this one more time because you're not making a solid argument. All right. The Gulf War was not. Yes, it was there to assist and protect Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, but was it because of the repressive regimes, or was it because of the economic influence that oils from that region had on our economy, which would be of national security interest?
Yeah, I agree on that one, Johnny.
That we need to go there and go kick their asses out. So yeah. I don't understand where your fucking argument is on that. And it's kind of, you're saying, all you're doing is droning on over and over and over. You're not gonna influence anybody's opinion by doing that, man. Actually, if you keep doing the same thing and banging your head on the same wall, it shows how mentally ill you are.
You know what I think it is, Johnny? I know, and I'm sorry to cut you off. Some people don't see things the way they should see them. Some people are so fixated on what they feel it was, and they don't really. And again, I don't know him. I don't know the person, but
Let me tell you, before you finish this, let me tell you, Will Wonks is a very smart individual. He's a smart guy. He's also a veteran. All right.
Gotcha.
So it puzzles me. And sometimes I think what he does is he's an antagonist. He does it because he gets bored and he just wants to stir the pot. I don't think half the stuff that comes out of his mouth, I actually do not believe he believes, in my opinion, because he actually works for the government. Why would he work for the industrialized military complex if he's so anti-military, if you think about it?
That's a good point.
You know?
That's a good point. I mean, I've seen some really dirty stuff. I mean, stuff that the higher ups, of course, you were an officer, and then you got Bacchio. He was in a high NCO. You don't hear that stuff. You don't hear that stuff in the lower rank. About what the real reasons, or you get the directive to go, and only the higher ups know. But I got to hear a lot of stuff when I was in. Let me tell you, we were in a lot of conflict that we shouldn't have been in, period. But we had to be there because we had something to gain in it.
Yeah.
Well, I can't. Never mind. I can't relate that story. I'm not allowed to. Never mind. I can't. I was going to, but it was an HVT mission.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we're going good. Hey, we got a question for you. Tonight's show is, where you're at in the United States, do you see any anti-veteran sentiment?
Yes, in a sense, yes. But not. See, and the thing is that I'm in Florida, so everybody almost is a vet. But I get a lot around here is, why do you deserve more than we do? Because you served kind of attitude.
Yeah, I get a lot.
And then the thing is, I tell people, you performed a job, I performed a job. Unfortunately, I see it different because you do a job that almost maybe 20 or 30% of the world's population can do. And we are 2% of the population that choose to do with knowing the consequences that may come down the road, but we don't expect to be glorified as heroes. We do our job. So if we get any perks from it, as in discounts, or we get, glorification, it comes from other people, not from us. We're not the ones that are posting it on our check and posting it on our cars. Hey, look at me. I was a veteran. I don't do none of that stuff. But if someone wants to say thank you for your service, thank you so much for your, for your commitment and your sacrifice, I want to say thank you for, your support. And my family served as well, because it's not just us serving. It's we just do a little bit more than others. That's all.
Yeah. Hey, hold on a minute. I got to address something here while it's there. Sure. Will Wonks, this is what I love about his antagonism, because now he's going into the borderline of ignorance. His statement is the vote to wage war against Iraq was based on false testimony before the U.S. Congress both times. And what he's doing is he's saying that, the statement that there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, right, was false, and that we went to war over false intelligence. Can I make an obvious statement? This is the argument, and this is where the progressive, he's giving an example of how the progressives in our country make an argument without finding the facts. All right. And here's the proof that there was weapons of mass destruction. Where the fuck did Syria get their fucking nerve agent?
No, but don't say Russia. Don't say Russia.
It all came from Iraq. They knew they were going to get invaded. There was a Hail Mary right before, and they moved the shit out there. The evidence of the movement, the evidence that it was there, the evidence that they were storing it was all documented clearly. Just because they didn't find it does not mean that it wasn't there, and it had moved into Syria, and now Syria is utilizing that. To me, the war in Syria, the conflict in Syria has done nothing but legitimize why we went into Iraq in the first place. And if you don't have the ability to connect the dots and see the big picture, you shouldn't be talking about, geopolitics in the first place. Honestly, that's the way I see it. Look at things big picture, man.
They said the same thing about they're building. We don't know yet, but they're building. The difference is that these guys came out and said, listen, we're testing this shit whether you like it or not. That is the difference. The difference. Look at the caves we found when we were there. Look at all the caves we found. Look at the weapon cache. You're telling me that these guys were not storing shit, and they got places that we don't know of yet. We didn't check all of Iraq. Trust me, there was places that they were hidden that we didn't find.
I don't know. I was on a first name basis of everything with around 30 clicks of victory.
I mean, it's not about it. Like you said, connected. Some things are not connected the right way. We definitely didn't catch it, but it was definitely there was a ton of proof that it was there.
Too much desert.
That's way too much ground to cover. Way too much. I love the gym. I tell you, I come in the morning. And hey, how's the family back here? How's everybody doing?
Everything's great up here, except it's been raining for 4 fucking weeks straight, and I can't take care of John.
What is it, rainy season?
Yeah, every time I hear from Johnny, it's one of the pictures coming. It's raining.
Yeah, it's. I got back from Orlando on Sunday. I had to work Sunday. I did a show yesterday, real quick show, got Johnny on. Yeah. I want to do a show on Wednesday. I'll send you guys a link on Wednesday.
Okay. I'll make sure I'm up for it.
Yeah, we do everything random, I mean, there's so many shows going on that have their own thing going on, and everyone's like, when are you guys going to do a show? I just didn't do a show because there was so much stuff going on, and online, and I just didn't want to get dragged into everything. I'm tired. Too old.
Yeah, we went drama free over here. All the drama shows I privatized.
Well, I got hit up by I gotta talk to my wrenches, because I guess Obama hit me up yesterday, and Obama said, listen, I was trying to show your show some respect, try to come on, and they were booting me off, and I told him, I said, dude, it wasn't, I don't think it was you, because everybody comes in with 1,000 Obama names, and I told him, I said, dude, I didn't know it was you, number one. Number two is, it's not a matter if you coming over. It's okay if you come over. It's just your entourage comes over and they start acting stupid. And now I said, we can't have that. I said, I didn't know it was you. As long as you stay on the show and you respect, you're good. I said, It goes to everybody. I'm not just saying I'm not just pointing a finger at you, Obama. It's just make sure whoever comes over, you keep control of it, because to me, it's just entertainment. And, hey, guys, show you a little window in my life, like Ren says. Open up a little window in my life. We guys talk. We can have a great place to talk. But a lot of people get bored, and they want to make that live show their show, and just make a spectacle of things, and can't have that.
Yes, Patrick Glenn, they did. So where did Johnny go?
He said 1 minute he had to do something.
Oh, he probably had to pinch another one off. He's naming his bowel movements now. Hey, Nico, I got just for that. When you meet him, do not sit down and eat dynamite with him. Okay.
Hey, I'll find you. I thought what is the name of your show? I know it's Vakio.
Okay, we explained it on our previous live cast. What we're doing is Johnny's working, we're kind of all working together on Operation Backpack, but we're also doing an expat lifestyle online magazine called Do More Life.
You mentioned that. Yeah, he mentioned that.
Okay, so Baguio Life, and I'm going to put my regular channel is going to be videos and travel videos, lifestyle videos of where I live and the surrounding areas where I live. And I'm going to kick it off. As soon as the rain stops, I'm going to try to do a slideshow with some music of points of interest in the city.
Hell yeah. Now, but your show that you're on now is called what?
Baguio Life Radio.
Yeah, see, I'm looking for it. I thought I had you. Let me see. Baguio Life Radio. Oh, okay. I don't have you. You're the Rottweiler. Okay.
Yeah,
Now I have.
that's my girl, or very close to a spitting image of my baby.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I have an English bulldog, and I have a little bully female.
Yeah.
And I love them to death. My daughters are the owners of the English bulldog. She's a sweetheart. But I'm the owner of the bully. But I have to find her a home because I'm going to the Philippines for a year. If you hear me breathing heavy, it's because I'm in the gym right now, and I'm finishing up right now. I gotta stay healthy, dude. Went to the doctors a few times.
Actually, Johnny's on my ass, and he's going to help me do it because he's moving over here. He's going to help me quit smoking, keep me busy to quit smoking.
Trust me, and you can do it. I see. It's not easy.
Okay, dude. I did an 18-month deployment, and I ran on 12. I'll take that back. Before I used to go out, I throw a case of energy drinks and 6 packs of Newports in my assault pack. And I lived off of Newports and energy drinks.
It was so bad for you.
So, but
I know you can do it.
Believe it or not, in Iraq, don't get jealous. I had a wet shoe.
We were if we ever drank energy drinks and he caught us, that he would take our pay.
Yeah.
And he said, "I will take half of your pay," and he was not joking. So
no,
I
don't get jealous. I lived good on victory.
Oh, dude, I was in Taji. What was that other one? I keep forgetting.
Taji. That's where they moved the new. That's where they moved the EPW cage to, didn't they?
Yes.
Buka closed, and everybody went to Taji.
That's where we.
Yeah. Okay.
We moved over from Buka. From Buka over. Well, we helped a lot of people transition over. A lot of prisoners.
Yeah.
And then we took care of them in the Taji. We were at the Taji detainee operation over there. You know, it was fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you. It's low. I'm retarded, but I loved it.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I used to sit on Memphis boards at Camp Cropper.
Oh, Camp Cropper.
Yeah, I used to be. It was one of the fob taxes we had to pay. We had to sit on a Memphis board for a week. Stay or go home. I don't think we released it.
I bought the ticket.
Oh, you did?
I didn't buy
the Philippines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second week of July 12th.
July?
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, January. Sorry.
Okay. Well, you'll be over here in time for Panic Benga and Baguio.
Hey, Nico, check this out. This is why. See, Will Wonks is chapped a little bit right now. He's a little irritated because he went from the first Gulf War. They brought a girl before Congress that claimed she saw babies being thrown out of incubators. The only thing is, at the time, she claimed she witnessed it. She was an exchange student, right? So he's talking about Desert Shield, Desert Storm. And then, he starts to think about the things that we've said and the big picture thing. So what he does then is he goes, "Hey, is your new channel going to be called B-Bots Legal?" So he goes into the mud and he starts bringing up stuff that's not even relevant.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing I noticed. Go ahead.
But hey, going back to the first Gulf War, the execution house was real. Because I actually went to see it when I went back over there to work.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Nico.
We put security. We put security there because a lot of people were trying to take a lot of equipment from there because they wanted to have, what do you call that? The war war tokens.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
look what I got from this place. So we actually pulled security there.
Yeah. Well,
So it's real.
I'm gonna openly admit that there was a lot of propaganda occurrences. I was there with Task Force Ripper out of RCT 7 and 29 Palms. And the element that we were in was supporting, we were doing a lot of LRRP operations in conjunction with some of the scud hunting crap that was going on. But we were also bringing in supplies to the quote unquote Kuwaiti resistance.
Yes.
And which was a joke. And
they got executed.
Well, the Kuwaiti resistance as a whole was never in the force volume, but through the entire war, it had the ghost illusion of its presence. And that's because there was a lot of the SEALs were going in there and they were doing harassment operations. They were, a lot of support was going in there in order to make the appearance that it was larger than it was and it was more consistent than it was. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, actually, Nico, you want to hear something funny? I think I told you this story before. Johnny and I ate it on the same road at different times.
Yeah, Raud Irish.
Yeah. Then come to find out, he was in Afghanistan in uniform the same time I was there working as an armed contractor.
Yeah.
So I guess I contributed and made money off the industrial war complex.
Hey, it's all about the money, man. Right?
Hey,
isn't that why we joined the service, is to make a bunch of money and kill people? Huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, man. The only thing, seriously, when I worked inside the DC Beltway, my COLA made up for the base pay, believe it or not.
Yeah. If you're in New York, your COLA is high as hell. Your COLA is like 23, 20.
Yeah, my COLA was 20, 21, I think, inside the DC Beltway.
One of the highest.
Yeah, so it ain't about the money. Well, actually, for me, it was job security.
Well, it's that was a joke, man. Come on, be serious. No, nobody joins the military for money.
No,
I know.
Well, actually, no. It was my grandfather. It was actually my grandfather in the 29th Division that pushed me to go AGR.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with AGR.
No.
I'd rather be working than not working, because a lot of soldiers, whether you're in the active duty or you're in the reserve side, jobs,
Bro, let me tell you something. You get honest to God, if some of the units I worked in, I got agita listening to all the complaints.
Oh,
seriously. We got the warning order to take the Maryland, New Mexico task force to deploy 07, 08. And I got 50 people lined up. Sergeant, I didn't join to deploy. I joined for the GI Bill and the college benefits. What am I going to say about school? I'm like, here's your letter. The commander's office is right there. He'll sign your letter excusing you. And by the way, you signed the contract. Have a nice day.
If you get a no from it, you're screwed, buddy.
Yeah.
People forget you signed a legally binding contract.
Mm-hmm.
And the only one that works with magic is is the battalion commander, and that's it, man.
Sometimes I think we're our own worst enemy with the way the media runs with things. Like, and I can't remember the guy's name, the one that went to trial for leaking to WikiLeaks and then turned around and he is now a she.
Oh, ask Will Wonks. He probably has a poster of it on his hat.
Be nice. Will Wonks is just trying to make the topic interesting.
She just ran for U.S. Senate.
Will Wonks is not the enemy here. He's just an instigator, dude. Don't go off on him.
There's
Look,
always one. Hey, I might lose you for a second, but I'll get you back.
Yeah. Hey, here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this publicly. Last year, Will Wonks came on with Alo, and they pinned me against the wall and said some pretty horrible thing. Chelsea Manning, made some pretty horrible claims against me. But when I went on and I proved it, and I put all my paper out there showing that not only was he wrong, but I was actually not only was I not embellishing, but I was holding things back. Right?
Yeah.
He did publicly apologize, which means he's got a set of balls. He's at least a man. So that washed that issue away with me and him. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he's an instigator. But if he's wrong, he's going to say when he's wrong. That's the one thing about him. You know what I mean? So don't bash on him. Let him talk.
Okay. But hey, Nika, I'm not going into drama. Tell Johnny what's happening to you with the death threats, please.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to connect you over to here. Hold on.
No, you're trying to zip up your pants because you were in your car doing your thing in the middle of a parking lot in Walmart.
Okay.
There's a half a bottle of Jerkins laying in the passenger's seat right now. Isn't there?
Okay.
They were now. What was that question, Brachio?
Okay. Tell Johnny he's only been hearing stuff kind of like from the outer coming in. Explain to him about, without going into drama, I'm not going to try to have drama, but please explain to Johnny, because I have a lot of Filipino listeners too. Explain to him about the death threat thing. Because we're catching everything.
Okay. What happened was that I made some videos, okay? And if I lose you guys, always let me know. Say, hey, Nico, I lost you, and then because I'll come on and off. So ended up what happening was I got a video. Somebody commented. Let me shut this thing off. Somebody commented on my video. Now, I'm not like everybody. I was reading. I was like, what the hell is this? And it said, if I continue to socialize with Popeye, with Alo, with any of the what do they call them? Hold on, any of the hate group. Then he also said Ren. He didn't say Ren. He said Sentai 7. He goes, if you keep socializing yourself with Popeye, Alo, Sentai 7, and all the hate groups, your fucking channel's gonna go to shit. And I said, well, and I wasn't thinking. I said, well, listen. If you don't like my channel, you don't like my videos, I'm just showing you a little bit of excitement on my part because I enjoyed my videos, then don't watch it. He goes, well, I know where you're going to be at in the Philippines, and you will pay a price. And I said, listen, I will make videos where I'll be staying, when I'll be there, and if you want to bring a whole fleet of people, watch you get your face kicked in, or you want to by the numbers, I will be there. I make my shit public. I don't hide from nothing. So then, I went to go look. I went back in. I said, you know what? Fuck it. Let me get the name of this guy. Through this, I wasn't really thinking, let me get the name, because I was on my laptop. On my phone, I can do a screenshot. So I went in and looked for it. I couldn't find it. So yesterday, I'm on the show. I'm at work. I'm sorry. I'm at work, and I get another message. But this time, I had spoken to Popeye, and Popeye says, listen, when this happens, immediately take a screenshot or just get the name. So it happened. You guys are going to laugh. It happened to be Popeye won something. It had Popeye's name on it. So he sent me another one, but this time, he said, you're a fucking asshole. I can't wait to get you. And I took a screenshot, but it didn't take a screenshot of the comment. I hit the button to see his channel, and I took a screenshot, and Popeye says that they said they know who this guy is.
Did he tell you who it was?
No, you gotta ask the next show. I'll make sure Fafai mentions it. I still got the screenshot. I'll send, Johnny, I'll send it to you right now.
It's interesting that if they know who he is, why didn't they say who he was?
I think they said and don't quote me on this. I think Fafai had mentioned to Dave, hey, it was that guy, but I don't think they mentioned his name. Hold on, let me send it to you right now. Maybe by looking at it, you might know who this person is, or, oh, I seen that, Julio. Hold on. Right here. It's coming your way right now. Me, I already said I'm a nice, really nice guy, but don't get it twisted, Don't be like, you can meet me anywhere. I don't hide from nothing. I'm just a really good guy. I'd rather avoid the headache and the jail term, but it isn't like I haven't been there 100,000 times before.
I'm the same way, dude. And usually I don't. I mean, I guess recently over something I got pulled into. Look, and here's an example. This is a perfect example of our topic. This anti-veteran thing. You've got this Bayou water boy down there in Mindanao, right? That Dave and I are really kind of outliners and not directly associated with a lot of this drama that's going out there. And this guy has got the balls to claim that I made some kind of direct threat against him and his family. Man, I don't threat. If I was going to kick his ass, I would just go down there and whoop his fucking ass.
Exactly. I'm not going to tell you I'm coming. I'll let you know when I tap you in the shoulder and says you got 2 seconds by the time I put the beer down and just clobber the shit out of somebody. I'm not gonna invite you and tell you, hey, this.
Exactly.
I just said that I would. I said that I would, but I will always be. I would never be complacent. If I tell if my videos say I'll be in Cebu, I always know who's got who's behind me, who's to the left, to the right, to the front of me. I'm always vigilant, but I'm not gonna tell you.
This is one of the things that you're going to have to deal with here, man, because this guy specifically goes after a lot of veterans. He attacks veterans because that's all he is. That's all he's doing is the attacks on veterans, and he talks a lot, but there's no proof. He just makes his statement, but he can't prove a damn thing. I would like him. I want to know at what point I ever directly threatened this guy or threatened his family, because I don't do that shit, because I've had my family threatened. I know exactly how it feels.
And I know how it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that just doesn't fly with me, man. So this guy.
What I've been noticing? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
You know what I've been noticing a lot, because I'm like you guys. I kind of like. I stay on the outskirts looking in. I notice a lot. There's a lot of what we call the military glory horse. There's a lot of guys that say, yeah, friggin' Johnny was at the restaurant the other day blabbing his friggin' mouth, and I heard him say he's going to kill me, my dog, and my family, only to improve his ratings. A lot of people are making these fucking things up just to make their shit go, bring their numbers up. And like an example, and I mean, I'm an honest person, and if I offend anyone when I say this, it was already out there to begin with. This is just my personal comment. Again, I have to emphasize that you know how the people are. I was talking to JW. I would say JW. It's the MJ. And when I was talking to MJ, he goes, "Well, if this fight really happens, we've already you talked about the percentages that are going to go to charity." And I thought the numbers were too low. I said, you know what? I think this is a prompt, not from you, but from many other people, a prompt to try to make benefit on where you don't have it. And I hate to say this because I'm not trying to place the person in a firing lane, but if I was going to do something, I'm going to do it. There is no $50, $100, $1,000, because if I make anything, it's going to go to charity. And I'm trying to. It's about you invited me. Let's get this done. But a lot of people are using and baiting people and getting their numbers to grow off of bullshit and lies. And I've been noticing that a lot. There's no truth to a lot of shit people are saying. And they turn around and they're using this thing as a pawn to make money.
Well, you kind of struck it right with the whole military glory hound thing. I think, like this, with this show, this is the first time I think since we started this whole series that we've actually talked about any of this drama. But it's a positive talk in the fact that, if you look at the dynamics of what's doing it, most of the individuals that are being focused on, right, are veterans.
Yep.
Okay. And they're being attacked by non-veterans. Yep. And there's a reason for that, because they look at the veteran and that Eric and I are a leader in our community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dave is vocal, Popeye is vocal. And the minute that you start showing any strength or you start having an opinion that's contrary to what the norm is, you're going to start getting focused on, so that's a threat to them. They don't feel, no, shut up. That's a threat to them. And they feel that, they can't, damn it, Eric. See, that's why you can't do that to me, man. I don't mean to be rude, but I forget shit when you do that.
I know, I do too. Now you made me forget.
Yeah, so we're down both a couple dumbasses on air.
No, but I understand what you're saying, though. I totally understand. And then the thing is that a lot of them, this is their way of feeling, that power, that satisfaction, that, oh, I got them this time. No, the fuck you don't. You don't got shit on me, number one. Number two is, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Number three is, all you're doing is instigating shit. You're not doing really anything. And are you really that bored?
Okay, I remember what I was going to say now.
Okay, go.
Remember, Johnny, we did the show about communication and collateral. People getting drawn into it. Here's a perfect example. Somebody that was never involved. He's got some idiot out there behind a keyboard trying to drag him into it. Not everybody talk at once.
No, say that.
No, you got to say it again. You broke up. I'm sorry.
Okay. Remember, when we had the show, we were talking about collateral and people getting dragged into this whole situation and getting dragged into things they're not a part of.
Yeah.
Nico's a prime example. They're trying to drag him into it.
Yeah, and and the thing is, I don't ride the fence. If it's like me, I always use this example. Me and Johnny and Bakio were the best friends. And I go down the bar, and I get the shit kicked out of me because I opened my mouth. And I said the wrong thing. Do you think I'm going to sit there and be like, oh, Johnny's my friend, Bakio's my friend. Yeah, I want to bring them down. I want to teach them a lesson. No, I'm not going to choose sides. I'm not going to put my friends in the line of fire. Just you might not choose a certain kind of people as your friend because you choose to label them that kind of people, just because you express yourself and you have an opinion different than yours, so I'm going to not be your friend, and then I have to choose aka a side. No, I don't choose a fucking side. I choose my side, and I will make a judgment call based on that, but people don't like that. They'll continue to antagonize and feel like they're making a dent on trying to drag me to what they call their side.
Well, bro, and here's the thing. You kind of said right there, their side or a side. The reality is there really is no side because the whole thing is adolescent elementary schoolyard crap.
Well,
it
exactly.
is. Now there's a certain element of it that is for entertainment value. There's two or one person on one quote unquote side and one person on the other side that are simply doing it absolutely for the entertainment. They're using and utilizing the resources they have on hand, the personal resources they have on hand, and in order to exploit viewership, a presence, and what they perceive as a substantive discussion or discord, as they say. And I don't think that there's really there's really no social value to it. It's just a whole bunch of people that are bored yapping at each other and making threats and doing this, and people getting pulled into it and everything else. I mean, that's ridiculous in this. And the only reason we're discussing it really is because of the asinine ridiculousness of the whole entire environment that it's perpetuating. Look, when we were kids, how many times did you yell at somebody that you're gonna kick their fucking ass?
Yeah.
Right? And how many times did that actually come to fruition in reality?
Never.
Exactly.
Unless somebody really, really, but the chances of that were slim to none.
Yeah. No, I mean, if somebody bowed up on you and you felt a real threat, of course you're going to get engaged. But that's the same thing that's happening here. The sadness is that the anonymity of the whole YouTube genre and conversation, both in Discord and YouTube, that anonymity gives them, it emboldens them to say things that they would never say to a man in front of them.
Sorry, guys. I'm going to tell him back here. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. That is totally Nico.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah,
Sounds like
I'm always talking about Bacchio, and I forgot to mute it.
Yeah. Hey, I thought Nico sounded like Nico was in a Cuban coffee shop.
Oh man, I actually miss those, man. Have you ever had a Cuban sandwich down there and some of those little Cuban coffees that are really, really sweet? Oh man,
and they kick your ass and they give you the shits afterwards because they're so potent.
Well, I don't know about the shits, but you're right. They do kick your ass, man. They get you going in the morning.
So, I mean, hey, Nico, I will apologize for the whole community what happened to you.
I think we lost him. And
He'll be
dropped out.
back.
No, I'm still here. I was just I muted it because they were asking me questions.
Yeah,
I said, hey, I'm apologizing for the whole Philippine YouTube community.
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
Well, no, just the way you're getting pulled into it, bro.
Bro. Let me tell you. At the very end, I'm getting to know who my real whether they're online or whether when I meet you guys in person. I already got an idea where's the positive end to it. I really appreciate that. At the very most, they like you said, they were all dry threats.
Yeah, it's posturizing. And the ones that really kind of irritate me is when they start talking about, attacking family, or they start, we're going to push legal action on you. And the reality is, I have yet to see anybody really do anything, anything.
I mean, there will always be that possibility that somebody's capable of something. So you always have to be careful. But at the very least, you cannot protect yourself or control the actions of somebody psychotic or somebody that's just ignorant, and you can't protect yourself from the unknown because you're never going to know. So you can't worry about stuff. So far everything's dry. Everything sometimes takes a little more toll than the other stuff. You get a little too into stuff that people shouldn't be talking about. People talking about families, people talking about this and that, but you hope that nobody really follows up on their fake threats. But you can never be too sure because some of these people take it to the heart, man. Some of these people take it too far.
Well, it's amazing if you look at the dynamics here, the psychology of it, right? And I don't want to, you've got Backwoods. It's actually really kind of toned down his rhetoric. He's kind of making fun with it a little bit, and whatever. But you've got the Hobbit over there that is continuing to make the threats, and then you got Waterboy down there who absolutely has nothing to do with anybody, but has to make threats and chimes in on it to try and get, hey, look at me, and nobody really cares, but he's still doing it.
Yeah.
That's the dynamic of what you're doing. Is you've got some very pathetic personalities that are screaming for attention, And whether it's positive or negative attention, they're getting their rocks off on it. You know, and at least one account of that, you know, the guy that's down, the Bayou boy, water boy, he's just lonely, you know, and you almost feel sorry for him because he's very, very much a pathetic person. His arguments don't have any substance. He doesn't have any real continuity to his discussion or his debate. He doesn't have a clear thought. You know, he just fabricates a lot of what he thinks he hears. But then you turn around and you've got the Hobbit, who is generating it solely for monetary motive. Yeah. And then you got Backwoods, who's being used in it. And I'm not saying feel sorry for him or whatever, because he did say some pretty heinous things to quite a few people. But, you know, he's trying to tone it down. You know,
and not giving a chance.
Yeah, and you know, to me, the whole thing is kind of petering out. To be honest, and there's a lot of people who are involved with it in backdoor discussions that I've had with these people who are actually involved with it, and they're tired of it. You know, and they want it to end. So it is what it is, man. And what it is you got an audience that feeds off of it and needs more of it, and they're just gonna milk it for everything that they can.
And one of them drives a truck, and he's a drunk.
Yeah, and Will Wonk says too many misfits there in the Philippines. Nah, Will, there's just too many misfits. Period. Because a lot of these instigators are out of the United States. It has nothing to do with the Philippines. And that's what boggles my mind is a lot of these people who are starting this shit are in the United States, aren't in the Philippines, have either no ties or very few ties, right? And they're instigating, you know, trying to instigate this huge wave of animosity just simply to see. It's almost like they're trying to construct the train wreck and then stand by and watch it.
What's that movie with Jim Carrey?
No, vicariously. Do not live vicariously through movies. Don't do that to me. I hate that. No.
Okay, Nico, this is why I could never have him for a commander, because I'd be beating his ass back in the wood line.
Motherfucker, man, you wouldn't be doing shit. You'd be picking your ass up off the floor, crying. I want to write you up, son. I want to write you up. Motherfucker.
Hey, guess what? I just got intel on.
What?
I just walked in and my mother walked outside and I go, hey. She goes, hey, you online? I say, I'm on with Bakio and Johnny right now talking online. She goes, don't go in the house. I'm like, why? She goes, you're my son and I love you. I'm like, what the hell's going on? She goes, the whole house is menstrual flowing. I'm like, no, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I said, how many? She goes, your sister and your daughters. And I'm like, I'm out. I'm going to take a shower and I'm out.
That's a normal day, Nico. That's a normal day in the Philippines.
You're not leaving me?
When I was
living in
No, sir.
When I was living in
oh, go ahead.
He is not living me.
When I was living in Cebu, both the Asawa and my sister-in-law were living with me in the condo there. And I'll tell you one thing, man. There was about 5 days out of the month that absolutely sucked because they were cycling at the same time. It was like, holy shit, you know?
Hey, bro, look who's back. Bye, Andy.
Yeah, exactly. Bye.
I gotta go to the mall today. I gotta go get some hats. They don't make hats with melon heads like me.
I know. Andy must have got off the wagon and he's drinking again. That's why he's got to say something.
You know what? That's another subject that I always touch on. I love drinking, and it's cheap as hell to drink in the Philippines. And I rarely drink. I try not to. People don't understand it when you go to the Philippines. If you have a get out of my way. What's that word? If you have a habit or it can, something that you like to do, it's only going to get worse in the Philippines if you don't control it because it's so much cheaper to get it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Nico, I'm going to give you an item for a packing list if you're going to meet Johnny. Okay? Make sure you pack a pro mask.
What? What are
Okay.
you saying?
Because when he drinks San Mig and eats dynamite, you need a pro mask.
Oh,
My brother got me ready for gas a long time ago, so I think we're good on that one.
totally immune. See, that's why man. Unless you're in close quarters, like the back end of a very hot vehicle, and you slowly let one out, and everybody's gagging and then laughing about it. See, that's what men do, right? But that's not what Eric does. He whines and complains and wants to make
Me, I'm the guy like Johnny.
That's why you like your wife better than me.
I'm like Johnny. I fart and I'm like, yo, that one was good.
Exactly.
Rocky will be the type. I got a feeling Rocky will be the type to fart and be like, Johnny, really? Come on.
Hey, Nico, if you like dynamite, I know two places in Baguio that have awesome fucking jalapenos.
I'm telling you right now, man, that one, the one that's
the coffee shop.
Yeah, the coffee shop makes the best dynamite, dude. Like ever.
And chili fries.
Yeah, and their chili fries are good too.
Yeah.
So I like that. And
I'm gonna have a field day when I go over there with you guys.
Yeah. Now my favorite place in Baguio is Red Lion.
Yeah. They keep asking when you're coming back.
Who, Red Lion?
Yeah.
Why the hell would they know me? I think you're talking about Gib.
He's never coming back.
And, they ask when the two from Solano are going to be back again.
Oh. Nope. Yeah. Soon. I do like it there. I like that place.
Soon you'll be doing happy hour there.
Happy hour sounds good.
Well, I got a feeling, Universal Ramen over there at SM Mall.
They're going to own stock in that one.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the better half loves it there.
And the Korean buffet.
Yeah, she absolutely loves Korean buffets. Absolutely.
I like any buffet.
That's what mine sounds like, man.
And you know what?
Shit.
And actually,
if you got a capital V, in buffet, it's me.
And actually, Nico. Nico should be over the same time Graham's over for his extended stay.
Yeah.
I love seafood, man. I don't like anything fried unless if I can only get calamari fried. But I usually make calamari in a cold salad.
Yeah.
And like the Cubans make it. They make it with the vegetables, the onions and stuff. And actually, not just Cubans. Everybody makes it that way. We make it that way too. And let me tell you, you don't find a lot of that stuff over there unless you specifically know where to look.
Yeah. Baguio has a really good baseline of different foods to go to, man. I mean, there's a lot of good restaurants up there.
We got a good steakhouse I took you to.
Oh, yeah, that place is good. They supposedly have one of the best pizzas you can find in the Philippines there.
Yes.
To do the buttermilky.
You guys are going to laugh. You know what I missed a lot from over here that I found out Manila had it, but I didn't know because I wasn't in Manila? A Taco Bell, man.
Oh, no. Dude, Johnny knows a place in Subic he told me about. He's promising to take me to for fish tacos.
It's called something Lunas. I can't remember. Del Lunas or something. Brother, I don't know if you know what a Rubio's fish taco is, right? But their fish tacos are just as good as Rubio's. The original, that's like the original fish taco. This is
Well, I'm going to make sure we go.
Yeah, that place is good.
Well, no, if you're coming over, we're going to have to take you to see Jack anyway. So, and the VFW is right there for supposedly really good cheesesteaks.
Yeah, their cheesesteaks are pretty good.
See, this is the kind of stuff that you know what you should do, Johnny? You should open up a website. Like
He
you
is.
and Rocky
Do more
should
like
open up.
magazine.
Yeah, we're starting an online magazine, bro.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, you had. I'm telling you, it's gonna go because you can over here. I ate here. These are the somewhat prices you're gonna get into, and a lot of soldiers and a lot of non-veterans as well are gonna look at that and be like, oh, yeah, check it out. These guys have been there. Wow, that's awesome, and all the links to go to the places you've been to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Nico,
I think
Graham's
it'll go
asking
good.
when you're going to be up in Baguio because he's going to be over.
I will. I'll get you guys offline, and I'll send you guys the itinerary once I get it. Because I had a friend of mine buy it because it was cheaper, his way to do it. And when I receive it, I'll send it to you guys, and I'll tell you. Then you guys will have an idea when I'll be there, what time. I'll definitely take a couple of days to settle in a little bit, but you guys will be more than welcome to swing by and.
Yeah, Graham said he'll be there throughout January. Hey, do you need help getting checked in at the VA?
Yes, when I get there, yeah, it'll make it easier when I go with somebody that's going to know what they're doing. And Graham, can't wait to see you as well. Maybe have a few drinks, maybe not even drinks. Maybe just shoot the shit and have a 5-10 minute conversation because we're all going to be doing our own thing. But
Graham will be there for a few drinks. Trust me.
Oh, trust me, Graham's going to be kind of. Graham's settling in and basing himself up here with me in the mountains.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, he's
good to see him.
He's settling in, basing up in the mountains. I don't know about with Eric, but
not with me. Yeah. Well, my house is closed now because my in-laws are moving back in.
Okay, I don't know what the hell that had to do with the conversation, but that's cool.
I know. You know why? Well, there's no room at the inn now. So
there's no room at the inn.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because they're my father-in-law is like my best buddy over here. Travel buddy, go to KFC.
So wait a minute. Your definition of traveling is going to the Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Yeah.
Wow, dude, you need to get out.
Actually, now, Sal was excited about the Subic weekend.
The one that got me, Johnny, Rock, you're gonna love this. Johnny, the one that got me was when he said, my best friend and me, what is it out? You said father-in-law?
Mm-hmm.
You said, my best friend and me, my father-in-law, when we go out and hang out, it's to McDonald's. I'm like, whoa! I thought you were going to say like, oh yeah, we go to Final One or we go hang out together to this place. You're like, you made it simple. You're like, McDonald's.
Hey, let me tell you something, okay? I will put in a drinking contest that 91-year-old man up against Ren.
I believe it. When you said 91, old man, yeah, I believe it.
Dad, lock the door.
Nico, he said, don't worry, Nico. Graham said he's planning on renting a place in Baguio, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more like I'll hang out with you guys and I'll bring a cold bottle of Hennessy. I'll put it in the freezer, and I just sit here talking to you guys. I'm more like that. I'm more like I only do it on the weekends. I don't really, and if at all.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, if you come to the mountains, you got to take a couple days to. How can I put this? Take in Baguio, because Baguio is kind of not like the rest of the Philippines. We're like a unique area up here.
It's different. It's cool. There's a lot to see and experience there. If you're an outdoors person, Baguio is definitely for you. If you're more into the, well, I don't know. I mean, the mall's nice, and I guess it's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to moving there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm leaving, so.
Where are you going?
He's going back to the States.
Coming. Yeah, but we're going to do like a 4 and 8.
No, he won't. No, he won't. He's going to go there. He's gonna go there and he's gonna go, oh my gosh, look how awesome it is. I can now be my progressive liberal self. I can name myself Chelsea Manning and wear a dress. It'll be awesome. Yeah. And he'll never come back to the Philippines.
No, I got to, but no, I gotta go get my stuff done and get my wife her U.S. passport so we can travel even more without the headaches.
But you don't have to move to the U.S. to do that. That's what I don't get. That's what that really kind of
first thing I got to do. I got to come back. I got to install the septic hookup and the electric, so when you drive by, you could park your travel trailer in the yard and hook up.
Yeah. I didn't know how much how much work a lot of that stuff. It's very luxurious, but it takes some work,
Yeah. Will Wonks is saying you're gonna come to the real world. Will Wonks, I'm here. I've been here over a month. I got another month here, and there's nothing real about the world of the United States. Everybody here is in fantasy land. There is no reality on anything. Anything to do with the United States, dude. Mm-hmm. So that statement, I'm sorry, that is just wow.
I'm going back. I'm getting somebody to build me a custom rifle that I want.
Yeah.
I miss my outdoor hunting. I miss my fishing. I miss the Chesapeake Bay.
Show him, Johnny. Say, you mean something like this, Rocky?
Hold on. So, are you meaning something like this?
How old is he?
Except
How old is he? What the hell is that guy?
That's awesome. Yeah. He did that to us yesterday, Rockio. He goes, do you see the curves on this girl?
Yeah,
it reminds me of my wife.
No, actually, mine's going to be better because I'm having mine chambered at 338.
Look at that.
Oh, my God.
And that's a Kimber custom.
Oh, my God. Rockio, yesterday he was touching the guns. He's like, look at these curves. They remind me of my wife. Look at, oh my God, look at this. It was so awesome, man. Oh my God. My kids were watching them. My kids are like, wow, he really loves those guns, huh? Oh my God.
Will Wonky wouldn't know anything about guns, or a weapon. Just stop. Just stop. Yeah. And it's not even a Colt. I told you it's a Kimber custom, man. Look, 45 suck. It's not even a Colt.
No. A Kimber's it's a Kimber custom. It's a special. Yeah. It's a gun that's made by manufacturer. That's just a real nice gun. And the other one,
this one was done. Built about, I want to say 7, 8 years ago by Gunsmoke out of Colorado.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's Go ahead.
My daughter thought you were in the Philippines. My daughter's like, how come he's got guns in the Philippines? I said, shit, he's not in the Philippines. I wish you could have a gun in the Philippines, but you can't. I said, only you got to be a Philippine resident. I told her, I said, but he's here in the States.
Yeah. Yeah. And Will Wonk, Sig Sauer does make a good weapon, but I wouldn't say that they make the best.
Really?
Oh,
is somebody
back to the before? Nico promised to take me iguana hunting down in Florida.
Oh, all day. All day. So you can go in my backyard and catch like 40. If somebody were to break into Johnny Warrior's house right now, and he shot him dead, they shot him in the leg, and he had fun with him with that AR or the hand or the Kimber.
About the big gun.
Yeah, he can shoot him with whatever gun he wants. It's legal because somebody was threatening his life.
That's
if someone did it here, yeah. If someone did it here, and I pulled out my gun.
Well, yeah, your gun's exceptional. His is big.
Oh well, he could have a shotgun and blow his head right off.
Oh wait, hold on. Here. I guess I gotta show you the last of it because I have the 3-gun. I have the 3-gun kit. There's my 12-gauge semi-auto. You absolutely have to kill it overnight.
My daughter goes, "How many guns does he have all together?" Every time they see your picture, Johnny, they're like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Oh, look at the shotgun." She's like, "Well, how many guns does he have?"
Hey,
no, I only have my 3 guns. I have a 3-gun kit. That's it.
Yeah, you're like me. I only want 3. You're sure.
Nico, when I get back, one on my bucket list to own after the AR is going to be a Barrett 50 cal.
There's a guy down here that sells remanned or rebuilt. I call them rebuilt 50 cals.
Oh, really?
Yeah, here in Florida. Yeah.
They I'm doing a build out right now, right? On a just a 5.56 for the Asawa when she comes over here. I'm gonna have her a kit. I'm gonna get her a Kimber Micro and 9mm, and then I've got the lower built out right now. I gotta get by the upper, and she'll have a 5.56. And then I will probably go and build me a SDR style M4 with that I can swap out from 5.56 to 300 blackout. I'm really wanting. Oh yeah, I want that 300 blackout. You want to talk about the perfect CQB weapon, subsonic 30 cal? Oh my gosh! You know that is cool, guys.
He's having an orgasm right easily.
So I'm looking forward to having her over here 3 months out of the year on a regular basis.
I'm telling you, dude, we got to take her. We'll put my wife in a chopper on one side. Your wife.
Why you gotta be? Hey, listen. See, Will Wonks. This is why everybody lives in reality, there's no reality in the United States. Everybody's talking about flying in choppers and shooting from choppers. Oh man, I can't afford that shit.
Actually, you could.
Actually, I can't.
Well, actually,
I'm looking at my billfold right now, and I'm like, going, damn.
Okay. I will pay for it just to watch Arasawa's doing the helicopter hog hunting in Texas with the belt feds.
Man, Oklahoma has a new law on their suppressors. If it's a suppressor made in the state, not from outside, and as long as it's maintained in the state, you can own and carry a suppressor on your weapon without a tax stamp or anything. And so I'm actually kind of anxious to go hog hunting with a suppressor here in southern Oklahoma.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If I had to choose one that I missed the most, I love the 50 cal and the Mark 19. I love them both. But if I had to say, hey, Nico, what would you carry in your car? Or what would you carry? I definitely say the 240 Bravo. I really miss the 240.
Okay. No motherfucker, man. Not an M4, not an M9, not even a SIG 9, nothing like that. Motherfucker goes for a 240 Bravo.
Yeah, I go for the 240 Bravo. And I like the elite version, the one they give you that has all the little toys and whistles connected to that shit, man.
Will Wonks, when you're hunting hog from the ground in a blind, you're talking, when you bait the hog in, the problem down here in Oklahoma with the hog is so bad, it's starting to destroy the natural habitat for the elk and the deer over on Lawton. So what they do is they allow you to hunt with a suppressor so that you can get as many into an area and you can nail them, because you shoot one, they all poof, they're gone. With the suppressor, you get 3 or 4 down before they start looking around thinking that there's something wrong, and then they bolt. So it enhances your ability to get more of them on the ground for hog control. That's why you want to hunt with the suppressor. It's legitimate. There is a reason why you want to do it. So don't go all liberal and all anti-gun here.
Well, hey, if he's anti-hunting, I got to tell you, Will Wonks, when I get back to Maryland, I'm getting a bear permit. I'm going to go and shoot one, and I'm going to eat the motherfucker.
Well, I'll tell you, we had this conversation here. Me and the kids had a conversation yesterday because I was thinking of going as close to vegetarian as I can. I mean, you can't be a vegetarian and still have meat, but I would like to be pretty close. I'm really starting to like the salads and being healthy. So my daughter goes, the more, what it is she says? She goes, oh, Dad, have you ever seen a chicken being killed? And I said, no. Have you ever seen this being killed? I said, no. Have you ever seen this being killed? And I said, no. Why? And she goes, Dad, the moment you see the stuff being killed, I said, baby, let me tell you something. I don't know why I think the way I do, and I could be wrong in saying this. And she goes, okay. I said, I will tell you that 100 years ago, we were gutting the buffalo, and we were gutting shit, and we were eating this stuff. And we didn't have any stoves, and we didn't have any salt and shit. I mean, we had seasoning. We didn't have refrigerators. I don't think we cared about how everything was killed. Now, do I feel things should be humanely killed? Yeah, I think so. I think everything has emotions and feelings, but we shouldn't be, we're the dominant in the food chain. So if I want to eat a chicken and I'm going to worry about if they snapped his neck or not, I'm not going to worry about stuff like that. But some people, believe it or not, they're like, have you seen the way they kill these things? Yeah, did you think about that when you were stuffing your face with all them chicken sandwiches when you were young?
Yeah, no, man, some of that stuff's ridiculous. You know, Will Wonk says that you just believe you should, you need to eat what you hunt. Yeah, absolutely. If you're gonna hunt it, you eat it. And what's better than pork for pork sausages? I mean, you don't want to. Honestly, wild hog doesn't taste all that great with in a big old center cut pork chop. But you can make bacon out of it. That's pretty decent. And the sausages, when you start packing it full of sage, are absolutely awesome. And here's the thing. There's two things. I thought you were a patriot, Nico. I thought you cared about humanity.
I do.
Do you know what the number one cause of greenhouse gases are globally?
No.
Bovine flatulence. Cow farts. You need to save fucking humanity and be a patriot and kill cows, dude. They're destroying mankind. Eat a cow.
Okay, I think we should start killing shit.
If you are truly an environmentalist, you would kill a cow and eat a hamburger. Right now.
You know what? Watch this. Hey, Pookie. Tell Johnny Warrior, what is your favorite? If I go out 20 times today, what would you want me to pick up at least 19 out of those 20 times? What would you like?
Shake.
And what would you like from Steak and Shake?
A burger with a
burger. And when I go to Wendy's, what do you want?
Triple Dave's.
A Triple Dave's? Anywhere I go, my daughter goes, Dad, what did you bring me? And I'm like, baby, listen, I'm really against it. Now, Johnny, you made me give my daughter a cardiac arrest, and I'm going to bring her 4 cheeseburgers and 3 scrambled quarter pounders every single day.
That's it.
Thank Johnny
Save
Warrior.
the world. Eat a cow.
Okay, I got it. Okay, Johnny Warrior. Johnny. I'm here, buddy.
I'm here for you. I'm right here. I'm right here for you, bro. Right here, man.
I'm here for you, bro. You got to hear this.
You need a hug. Do you need a hug?
Are you guys on live?
Yeah. I can do it with my phone.
Hey,
I don't know what to say.
I want reference
Just say that
material
you
on
like
this
hamburger.
bovine flatulence.
Which one's whatever?
Bakio is the one that was just talking, and Johnny is the one that tells him to shut up.
I'm so confused.
So
what should I say? I don't know what to do.
Say hi, guys.
What language?
Use Ilocano. Say it in Ilocano.
What? I'm so confused.
Just say hi.
Hi. I don't know. Well, I mean, he has a gun. What do I do?
No, I gave my daughter the phone. I wanted to stunt her and see what she'd do. She goes, yeah, Dad, but what do I say? I said, say hi. She goes, yeah, but what language? I'm like, English. And then she goes, yeah, but he's got a gun. What am I going to do? I was like, oh, man.
Now, I want the reference material footnoted on the bovine flatulence with the greenhouse effect.
Google it,
they're all
man.
good.
Fucking
One's in the
Google it.
Philippines, and one is in the United States. One is in Oklahoma, and one's in the Philippines.
Like I saw one was like.
I think it's got like green is. I think that's an AR-15.
Why is it green?
No, it's an AR-10.
An AR-10. It's
Yeah,
he
it's
can get
308.
whatever color he wants. He can get it in black. He can get it in green. He can get it any camouflage, any color he wants, and have it painted.
That's actually one that has been done at home. It's really good. It's a good camouflage. But I, use it and it's worn. That's a Leupold Sky. That sighting. Yeah, and that's my hunting rifle, bro. 308 in North America. It's everything. It's light. It's perfect. And it's my home defense. Wow. And it's if I'm going to go out in public and get some, that's what I'm going to use.
Hey, let me tell you, people don't realize that. Go ahead.
Okay, he's right. 6 billion tons of greenhouse gas come from livestock farts.
Thank you. All you motherfuckers think I talk out my ass. I don't understand that.
Is that the one with the gun talking?
That's the one with the gun talking, yeah. You know what I realize? A lot of times people don't like the ones that really, and I hate to say, I like that shirt. That's a nice color.
That is my shirt.
Is that people don't realize the ones that have, and I hate to say it like this because everyone who has gone to the military and has gone to war, regardless, I mean, have been people that have been at the desk and they have been in the FOB and they still served, they still did what. You don't realize how awesome that AR-10 or AR-15 comes in handy, or that M4, until you manipulate it and put it into something that works for you. And then you're in a small room with 4 guys, 5 or 6 guys. How much damage can be done if you do it, perform it, and I mean that in a nice, controlled environment. How awesome that is, and how much fun it is when you do it. I'm telling you, I need medication because I thought it was awesome when I went out to the military, like out war. But again, I'm just one of the few people that can say that it was that awesome.
one of the finest things that I've ever seen in small team maneuvering concepts is the entry team, 5- and 7-man stacks. The design of a 5- and 7-man stack and entry team, and controlling entry point, sweeping the house, controlling a location, establishing the perimeter, and maintaining a dominant overwatch position in that is absolutely a sight to just. I mean, you actually leave with a little bit of chubby, even if you're taking.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean totally. It is a total. I'm like you. I stay away from the word because then people are gonna misconstrue everything. But you're damn right. You come out feeling like woohoo, hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, but on the flip side, here in the United States, I teach a lot of material that people who are preppers like, right? And I talk to these guys. And they used to be called survivalists, but now they're called preppers. I talk to these guys and I'm like, well, what is your plan on this? And a lot of these guys think what they're going to do is them, their wives, and their kids are going to hole up in a house and they're going to be able to defend their land and bug in and do all this stuff. And I'm like thinking, okay, dude. And when I express it, of course, they get pissed. I'm like, dude. Anybody who is halfway organized and kind of know what they're doing on a 5-man stack, you will not be able to maintain your defensive stand when somebody who's organized and is initiating a stack and entry effectively into your household. You can't. It's designed specifically to overpower you and concentrate power and push you in a direction they want to push you, so that they get you in a defensive posture that they can control you. All right. So I don't understand these guys. The biggest thing is, when I teach them these things, I say you need to have a secondary fallout point. When you see that there's a stack being organized or some type of organized entry being initiated on you, you need to vacate, fall back, and then retake, get the initiative back, and then retake your original house. Wait 6-7 hours until they start feeling comfortable that they got it, and then reassault the house and take it back. You're not going to do it. You're not going to defend against the entry.
Well, you know what I learned, and it was I never knew what the word meant until you started getting in there and doing it. The word shock and awe, you know, and it's implemented in many ways, and that is where the confusion comes in. You are expecting a certain line of way things that people are going to do things, and it doesn't. That's why when SWAT comes in and does that shock and awe, everyone thinks that the shock and awe was the flashbang. No, the shock and awe was the complete package that you're getting all in one shot.
Yeah, you get a couple M4s stacked on top of each other doing suppressive fire, and one person doing accurate fire. You know, it's pretty devastating. The only way that we failed in our entries in times, luckily it never happened to my crew, but you know, they got to the point in Baghdad over in Sadr City when we were coming in and hitting our HVTs over there. They would actually wire the buildings and bring the building down. They would blow the building in order to maintain, you know, to disrupt the entry. So basically a suicide bomber or a booby-trapped, you know, a booby-trapped building. And it took us a little adjustment, but we even adjusted to that. You know, trust me, man. It's not.
You know, the best thing they ever made for CQB, Stinger grenades.
Oh,
yeah, they're all right. They're pretty good, but very rarely, man. Very rarely do you have the time. Do you have the bottle? Shock and awe is a bottle of sanitizer and flashlight, according to Mr.
Oh
shit!
Oh man!
This here bottle of sanitizer will reach out 14 feet to blind your adversary.
Hey, you know what? You know what? Hey, when you come over, we ought to try that.
Oh no, man! Gib and I already experimented on it. It goes like fucking 4 inches. You know,
that's like the CS stuff. That's like the CS they sell over here. I'm the kind of guy that CS doesn't bother me.
I don't know. Well, that's one thing that I gotta tell you. The first 30 seconds, I'm done. I'm like, oh Jesus, and now then I'm done. Then I'm good.
Yeah, I've been a lot of CS, and it's still fucking makes me. What it does is make my eyes and my nose water immensely.
Yes, total sinus clearing.
You know, so I'm like,
no.
Oh, now you got Mr. Tux going. Now you know what? Mr. Tux is going to take that comment. He's going to go over to the other place and just lay into the guy now.
He's going to do the shock and awe now.
Mr. Tux was the one who said it, man.
Oh.
I was just rereading what Mr. Tux said.
Oh my God, I love this.
Mr. Tux, I don't know if you have a lot of experience with Mr. Tux, Nico, but he is literally the only one that has been. He comes on. The dude's like a walking encyclopedia or a walking Wikipedia link. So I hold all my comments except his comments because he can get on and help reference things quicker than I can get on and do it. So I let him do it, and the dude is funny as shit. He comes up with clever shit.
Yeah, when he comes to my show, very, very smart guy. Yeah. Very smart, and he's a nice guy. I mean, again, I think he's a guy. You know, I never met him, but very nice person, very nice. Every time he comes in,
and very well dressed, might I add. Very well dressed, snappy.
I like his picture.
Hey, Johnny, one of these days we're going to be somewhere, and this Filipino guy's going to come up all articulate and say, "How you guys doing? I'm Mr. Tux."
And he's going to be the only well-dressed person in the whole area. We're going to know it's him.
I thought I actually met him at one time in Pasay, because Gib and I were walking from our hotel going towards MOA, and there was a Filipino of all people, a Filipino came up and says, "Hey, Johnny Warrior," just like he knew me and everything was, and I'm like, and then, "Hey, what's up?" and all that. I thought it was cool as hell that I was recognized by a Filipino. And I turned around and was walking off, and I'm like, "Who the hell do you think that was?" Because he wouldn't tell. He didn't introduce himself, right?
Well,
and he was sly about how he didn't do it, and left Gib and I wondering who it was. And to this day, we wonder if that was who Mr. Tuggs. If we had actually met Mr. Tuggs.
Hey, unless he wants to admit it, you'll never know. It could have been. Well,
no, I talked about this a million times while he was in the chat, and he never addresses it.
Never addressed. Okay, then. Yeah, let me tell you, the day me and Ren were having dinner with Chixie, and we were down at the boatyard, and they got really good food there, and I went in there, and me and Ren were just sitting, and all of a sudden, Chixie looks at Ren and looks at me, and goes, "That guy is looking," and I look over and I go, "Hey, Ren, that guy keeps looking at us." He kept staring us down like he looked Australian. I don't know exactly what nationality he was. Could have been British or English. And he comes over and he looks at Ren, and I'm like, "Oh shit, damn! Now I want to get into something right now, shit." And he goes, "Is your name Ren from Sentai 7?" And Ren goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Chixie?" He goes, I'm this guy. I don't remember the name. And Ren goes, "Oh, now I know what you look like." The guy never showed his face, but he presented himself to Ren. And he sat down, he had dinner with us, we had a few drinks. Really, really nice guy, but it was a shocker the way he just approached us, because he wasn't very, "Hey, let's go." He was like crawling like that tiger ready to pounce. Mm-hmm. And we were getting the wrong vibes, and he just came up, and it was the craziest thing. So I know what you feel, Johnny, when I didn't feel it. He wasn't, he didn't address me, but I know what you mean when someone comes up to you and he goes, "Hey, what's going on?" Johnny Warrior, and you're like, "Who the hell is this?" Hey, he saw me on a video.
Awesome. We were in a small road in the most obscure place, and from across the road, he said this. Very professional looking guy. And look at what Mr. Tuggs is saying in the background. He's still not addressing it.
Yeah.
He won't ever deny it, but he won't ever admit it. Because if this guy was anybody, because he was well dressed, very well mannered, very, very good English, and very professional. He was dressed professionally. That's who I would think I would view Mr. Tuggs as. You know what I mean?
Hey guys, I have to start cutting this off. It's getting late here, and
all right, later, man.
Great, thank you so much for having me on, and Johnny, thank you guys for inviting me. Always a pleasure. And don't forget Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll be there.
We're on it. Okay, all right, thanks a lot.
Be safe, guys. God bless.
Johnny,
later.
Thank you. Later.
Bye.
Bye.